I want to show you something. Something that will change how you see African art forever. Are you ready? Here we go. When most people encounter African art, they see decoration, cultural flair, nice to have, but not necessary. But what if I told you that African art is none of those things? What if I told you that African art is dangerous? That it's meant to transform you, to awaken something primal within? To stand before a traditional African mask is to come face to face with an ancient mirror, one that doesn't reflect your features, but your essence. These masks were not made to entertain. They were made to invoke spirits, to honor ancestors, and to transform the wearer into something beyond human. In the moment of ritual, the mask does not conceal identity, it reveals it. And don't try to look for the artist's name or inspiration for the work. It doesn't exist, because African art wasn't made by an individual artist. It was made by a lineage of artists going back hundreds of years. Consider this. In many African traditions, there is no division between the sacred and the everyday. Art is not a luxury. It is a necessity, a tool, a portal. The ball mask, the Dogon sculptures, the kente cloth, each one speaks a language that predates alphabets. A language of color, form, and rhythm. Each piece is a sentence in the soul's autobiography. Take the sculptures of the Ife civilization. So precise in their realism, they rival the Renaissance. And yet they weren't made to be admired in a gallery. They were made to be used in ceremonies to channel ancestry, to link the present to the timeless. These figures were guardians of memory, carriers of spiritual code. They whispered truths in form that words could never hold. And then there are the textiles. Vibrant, mathematical, intentional. In cloth, entire lifetimes are documented. Lineage, status, rites of passage, all stitched into fabric. Patterns are not random, they are messages. The Ewe weave in geometric proverbs. The Yoruba dye cloth to mark cosmic alignments. What looks like fashion is, in truth, spiritual geometry. Now let me ask you a question. How do you think Western art views the individual artist? A lone genius, a tortured soul, a visionary. But African art? It exalts the collective soul, the community, the lineage, the unseen world. If you understand this, you'll understand everything about African art. Unfortunately, most people never get to experience this because when European eyes first laid upon African art, it was ripped from its context, stripped from ceremony, torn from its story, and displayed as primitive curiosity. But when you return these works to their sacred space, a transformation occurs. You realize they were never silent, we just weren't listening. You see, every culture has its own aesthetic language, its own way of shaping and molding the world to fit their vision. For centuries, Western art glorified individualism, endlessly celebrating the unique genius of the artist. But in doing so, it forgot the spirit of the many. It forgot the power of the collective. African art doesn't just reject this idea, it laughs at it. It screams that the individual is nothing without the community, that the self is forged in the fires of the ancestors, the living, the dead, and the yet to be born. It reminds us that we are not special, we are ordinary, and in our ordinariness lies our power. My friends, African art is not silent. It has been waiting for us to listen. It has been waiting for us to understand that the true purpose of art is not to adorn our walls or increase our Instagram followers. No, the purpose of art is to connect us to something bigger than ourselves, to remind us that we are part of a great chain of being, a web of life that connects the past, the present, and the future. So the next time you encounter African art, don't just look at it. Listen to it, feel it, let it move you. Allow it to shake your very soul. And if you look closely, really look, you'll see yourself reflected. Not your face, but your fears, your desires, your roots. Because African art doesn't just tell us who Africans were, it tells us who we all are. Thank you. And remember, Africa is watching.